What do you think? Does a Raspberry Pi 5 really need an active cooler? Today, I'm going to find out. In this video, I will compare how the Raspberry Pi 5 performs without active cooling and what changes when we install the official Raspberry Pi active cooler. How big do you think the difference will be? A few percent? 10%? Or maybe the Raspberry Pi will start asking for an ice pack? Let's find out. First, let's launch s-tui. It's a terminal-based graphical monitoring tool that makes it easy to keep an eye on CPU temperature, clock speed, CPU load, and other system parameters. In another terminal window, I'll run another monitoring tool so we can clearly see the processor's temperature and frequency, and whether thermal throttling occurs. And in the third terminal window, we'll run the sysbench CPU test. Sysbench includes a dedicated CPU benchmark designed to measure processor performance. In other words, we're about to give the CPU some serious work to do. You'll find all the commands I'm using in this video in the description. For the first part of the test, it's running without an active cooler. At idle, my Raspberry Pi 5 CPU is currently sitting at around 54 degrees Celsius. Of course, the temperature depends heavily on the environment. The room temperature here is about 26 degrees Celsius. So, let's start the test. And there we go. The temperature starts climbing almost immediately. 60, 70, and we've reached 80 degrees Celsius. The Raspberry Pi 5's thermal management gradually starts reducing the CPU frequency as the temperature approaches the 80 to 85 degree range, with 85 degrees Celsius being the configured maximum temperature limit. I actually expected us to reach that point much faster without a cooler. But now we're already seeing the first throttled messages, and along with them, sudden drops in CPU frequency. At some points, the frequency drops all the way down to around 1.5 gigahertz. This doesn't mean the processor is broken. It's basically saying, it's getting a little hot in here. I'm going to slow down for a moment. And that's exactly where we're starting to lose performance. Now let's measure not only the CPU, but the board itself. Using a thermometer, the surface of the board reaches around 60 degrees Celsius. Once the test is over, the temperature slowly starts to drop. And now let's see what the benchmark actually gave us. 3,567.58 events per second. Here you can see how many total events were performed in 300 seconds. This is our baseline. Now let's shut down the Raspberry Pi 5. Disconnect the cables. And give it a little vacation. Now it's time for the second part of the test. Let's unbox the official Raspberry Pi 5 active cooler. I have to say, I really like the packaging. And the cooler itself is surprisingly compact and feels very well made. It features an aluminum heatsink and an integrated fan connected to the dedicated 4-pin connector on the Raspberry Pi 5. The connector supports PWM fan control, and, most importantly, the fan speed is automatically controlled according to the temperature. So we don't have to listen to a tiny helicopter constantly spinning next to us. Before installing it, let's clean the chip surfaces to make sure there's no dust left on them. Remove the protective film. Carefully insert the mounting pins. Give it a gentle press. And lock everything into place. Connect the fan cable. And that's it. The Raspberry Pi 5 is ready for the second test. Let's open the same terminal windows and run exactly the same test. This is important because otherwise the comparison wouldn't be very fair. We started idle. This time the CPU temperature is only around 38 degrees Celsius. That's already quite a difference. Let's start the test. The temperature begins to rise. But this time, it has a hard time getting past 50 degrees Celsius. And there we go, we finally reached 50 degrees. The active cooler kicks in. According to the Raspberry Pi 5's default fan control, at 50 degrees Celsius, the fan starts running at a relatively low speed, around 30%. And it's really quiet. Can you hear it? If you can't, that's probably a good thing. If you can hear it very clearly, maybe check whether the volume on the device you're watching this video on is turned up all the way. Now let's measure the board temperature again. This time the thermometer shows about 42 degrees Celsius. Remember, without active cooling, we measure around 60 degrees on the board surface. So that's a pretty significant difference. And what about the other side of the board? We're seeing around 46 degrees Celsius. So, the difference in temperature is pretty impressive. At idle, the CPU went from 54 degrees Celsius down to just 38 degrees Celsius. That's about 30% cooler. And under full load, instead of reaching around 80 degrees Celsius, it stayed at about 50 degrees Celsius. Roughly 38% lower. Not bad for a tiny cooler. And there we go. The test is finished. Now for the most important part. What did we get with the Raspberry Pi 5 active cooler? 40, 45, 31 events per second. Here you can see how many total events were performed in 300 seconds. Now let's compare the results. Without the cooler, 3,567.58 events per second. With the active cooler, 4,045.31 events per second. That means the performance increased by 13.39%. But there's an important detail here. The cooler didn't magically make the processor itself faster. The Raspberry Pi 5 has thermal management built in. When the temperature gets too high, the CPU reduces its clock speed. With better cooling, the temperature stays much lower, allowing the processor to maintain higher clock speeds for longer during sustained workloads. And in our test, that translated into about a 13.4% performance increase. So, is that a locked? Well, if you're using the Raspberry Pi just for browsing the web, watching videos, or doing light tasks, you're probably not going to notice much difference. But if you're constantly pushing the CPU, running a server, compiling software, doing calculations, or performing other long-running workloads, cooling becomes much more important. Raspberry Pi itself also points out that active cooling isn't required for typical use, but sustained heavy workloads can lead to thermal throttling. So, is the official active cooler worth around €10? In my opinion. If you're regularly putting your Raspberry Pi 5 under heavy load, then yes. This test showed significantly lower temperatures and about a 13.4% performance increase in this particular sustained CPU benchmark. What we can say with confidence is this. A cooler Raspberry Pi is a happier Raspberry Pi. And if you'd like, in the next test we can see how much more performance we can squeeze out of the Raspberry Pi 5 with proper cooling and a higher CPU clock speed. I think this will be interesting.